Hey, Chris, wouldn't it be really funny if we started off the show mistaking the title of our show for something else?
Yes, Ed, that would be funny. Ha ha ha, good one.
I agree. Now let's start the show.
Is that good?
Yeah, it was fine. Don't worry about it, man. Just chill. Welcome to Mistakes We Made, the show where we look at mistakes and mishaps and the things we love, and maybe even remember why we love them in the first place. I'm your host and residential mistake artist, Eduardo Vaca, and with me today is fellow mistake artist, Chris Hecker.
Hello, that's me. Hi.
That is Chris.
That's me.
Now, Chris, this is the first episode, and I think it's really important. We built a relationship between ourselves and our fellow listeners, so maybe let's tell them a little more about ourselves. So just a question right off the bat, a little bit of an icebreaker. What's the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life?
Well, changing lanes without using my signal, I guess.
Okay, classic jokester, classic Chris.
Yeah.
Seriously, come on,
Yeah.
biggest mistake of your life.
All right, well, I may have stolen from the poor and given to the rich, but it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
Okay, class, Little Robin. Okay, no. Come on, biggest mistake. This is come on.
All right, okay. In my younger years, I may have cried before sex and then yelled at her for it, to be honest.
Come, everyone does that. That's a thing. I know, I do it. Come on, biggest mistake. What's the worst?
Ed.
No, come on, just go bigger.
Ed, stop.
The worst mistake you've ever made. Come on, Chris.
Okay, fine. All right, I may have hit Grandpa on the head with a brick and pushed him into the pool, okay? I never should have come here, dude. I never should have. Never should have opened up.
For anyone just listening in, Chris has stormed out of the studio. Well, you know how the saying goes. I guess sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Someone should probably tell Chris that one. That's a pretty common one. And for the record, my biggest mistake was hitting a woman with my mother's station wagon. Now, don't worry, she's okay. Her car was barely dented. Anyway, Derek, can we work to the transition now? Yeah, let's do that. Well, welcome back, Chris, from that not at all scripted segment of the show.
Yeah, whatever, don't talk about it.
We won't talk about it, but we will talk about today's actual topic, which is our thoughts on the Spider-Man film franchise, which first, of course, starred Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield, and then finally Marvel Studios. Chris, we're both, Chris and I are huge Spider-Man fans, always has been. It's the only reason we still talk, quite frankly, and maybe the only reason we continue to podcast.
Correct.
But today we're going to do you listeners the wonderful gift of ranking the, I guess, now 6 feature films in the Spider-Man franchise. And I have a pretty good idea of my own rankings. I'd love to hear, Chris, what your rankings of, maybe we'll go one by one. And we can talk about each of the rankings. So, Chris, what is at the bottom of your Spider-Man list?
I'm just going to come off and say Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2, because I guess I have to be louder.
This is where, to quote a movie I forgot, this is where the fun begins, to quote Anakin from Episode 3. I disagree. This Amazing Spider-Man 2 is great. But tell me why you think it's the worst.
It's great?
It's
Shut
great.
up,
Yeah,
Ed.
I will say it's
Shut
great.
up.
Tell me why you think it's the worst.
I don't even want to do it. It's just, I can't even talk, but, I get annoyed with his voice. It's just, there's too many, conveniences. Electro's not, I guess, even though he's the most developed, he's not developed really well. You need to watch the deleted scenes, I guess, to get more development from him. Then you got Green Goblin, who's only, good near the end. Harry's just annoying the whole time. I hold the brush in one hand and the hairdryer in the other, and the butler holds the mirror. Shut up.
Just end it. End the sentence.
Stop right there.
There was a place to stop the sentence, and it wasn't there.
Stop.
Okay.
Yeah, your turn.
So my ranking for the bottom
Pissed.
is The Amazing Spider-Man, and I'll tell you why. I will tell you why, sir. One, I don't disagree with you on The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, okay.
Everything you said is true. But one, that suit is the best Spider-Man suit put on film.
A good suit doesn't save a bad
First
movie.
of all. 2, everything with Peter and Gwen Stacy is perfect.
I guess.
I will say it is all perfect.
You like stuttering?
I do like the stutter. I love stuttering, Chris.
I still
Okay.
do a lot too, I guess. Tell me
I
about
would say
it.
that's perfect. But with Amazing Spider-Man 1, sure, the narrative is more, quote, cohesive, unquote. Sure, the logic is, quote, more logical, quote. End quote. But guess what, Chris? It's boring.
You're boring.
I am.
The
but
first one's boring.
I know it's boring because I relate to the Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh wait. Oh, you're saying the first
I'm
one's
saying
boring?
the,
Oh, they
I'm
said
saying
the second one's boring.
It's so boring that it's the bottom of my Spider-Man list. So
The
number
500
6.
Days of Spider-Man movies.
It's 500 Days of Spider-Man without the charm or the humor
I love it.
or the love. Although his voice isn't as bad in the first Amazing Spider-Man. In the
Boys
second
in
one, it gets
blue.
less. Boys in blue. And I was actually talking about Paul Giamatti's Rhino voice because he wasn't in the first one. That's why it's better.
It's not even that bad. He's barely in there. It's silly. It's fun.
It's yeah. Oh, I don't get me wrong. The whole movie's silly and fun.
Amazing Spider-Man 1 had a better ending than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Are you kidding me?
What?
What? The
Are you
swinging is.
kidding me?
You want it to end like right before a fight? Are you
Yes.
fucking
Are
with me
you-
right now?
no.
I'd rather see him beat him than a stupid like.
No, that was great. The only reason you didn't like that is because they like so played it in the trailer.
Yeah, I know.
So much. If you like just based on the point of the film, I hit the table. It's it's great.
Dude,
It's
relax,
a great
okay?
way. I'm not no. Chris can tell I'm teething at the froth.
No, that's how Spider-Man movies should always end.
Yeah, with a tease for what's next.
Yeah, this. No,
And yeah,
no, I can't believe I just screwed that up and agreed with you.
yeah. And
No.
argument over. Ed's list dominates. That's-
No, because like how Amazing Spider-Man 2 should have ended is him like not being Spider-Man. Don't just like glance over the fact that he's not Spider-Man in like 5 minutes. That's dumb.
I disagree.
Why?
One, boys
There's no
gotta make a franchise.
I guess. Yeah,
But
there you
no.
go. It's like leave it off where he's not Spider-Man, but like he's like thinking about it. That's how you should end it. Don't end it in a stupid fight where you don't
No,
even...
but that's him deciding. Because look, we know Spider-Man's gonna be Spider-Man. It's like, okay, so you know, in Batman versus Superman, spoilers, dies. But come on, we know he's gonna come back. At least now we know Peter's gonna bounce back. Sure, the love of his life died, and it's his fault. And Uncle Ben died, and it's his fault. But he's gonna keep doing this despite the deaths he's caused.
Yeah, but doesn't that like I don't know where I was going with that. You continue.
I'll continue.
Yeah, continue.
I'm right. And it's over. Podcast. We're at the 7-minute 8-second mark. It's over.
Okay.
Give me the belt.
Derek.
Derek.
Nick, end it.
We got this. Derek's nod and wave. Derek. Is
Nod
he
and
even?
wave.
Is he even here? The real question is. So I think we both agree the Amazing Spider-Man films are the bottom two.
Duh. Like, yeah.
They don't know. They can't see the list we've drawn out.
Well, it's just a given.
That's a given.
Like they should know.
What's your opinion on Kurt Connors as the Lizard?
I guess there's both Spider-Man movies are just like filled out with a lot of conveniences.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like,
they're
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they're not particularly well written.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good development with the villains, honestly.
No, which is crazy because Spider-Man has the best villains of any. I'd say superior to Batman even, and I love Batman villains. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm,
That's a topic.
hot
for
take.
different-
Hot take. Okay.
Unpopular
there's-
opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And just for context, Chris and I both agree Spider-Man is the best superhero of all of them.
Look at my lanyard and my wallet.
Yeah, they are both. His lanyard is the '90s Spider-Man font from the cartoon,
With
and
Toby.
the comics with Toby and other like Todd McFarlane based designs.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
And Ultimate Spider-Man.
It's cool.
And his wallet is a faded Spider-Man
Fighting
sort of
Hammerhead.
Fighting Hammerhead cover, among
So
other ones.
stupid. But
It's the same image twice.
what do you want? It was that Ross.
It was at Ross. Plug. Give us free stuff, Ross.
Please give me a job.
So I guess that leads. So I guess that would make Amazing Spider-Man year 5.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I also think it's like good because like it focuses on a single villain, which is like nice. You know, fresh air. You know.
Room to breathe. I see what I like about the Lizard is that he's like in like a Marvel comics often have the Jekyll and Hyde kind of story, and he works. And I love that Dr. Connors is like a family man, you know, to the point where it hurts so much when in the comics he like eats his kid.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
I've
so
seen
silly
that.
to say out loud, but like in the comics it hurts because he can't control it and he ends up killing people he loves, and you just get none of that from the movie, like none of the heart from the movie.
It's in a deleted scene, but then again, it's a deleted scene.
He like says hi to his kid.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I
it.
mean, like the son's like, wasn't he concerned about something, and he's just like, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah,
I'll eat you.
it was. Or I'll eat you. I'm hungry, and I want some
Don't go sticking your head where it doesn't belong.
lizards.
Like my-
Also, the fact that he can like talk to other lizards is always kind of silly. Like, when he's in the
Harry Potter can
sewers-
talk to snakes.
Harry Potter's magic, bro. This is Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel is science.
We're not to Doctor Strange yet. Okay.
Yeah, I would say Doctor Strange is number 4 on my Spider-Man rankings. Hashtag MCU.
He's the spinoff.
Wait,
He's
before
Doctor Strange 0.5.
Doctor Strange 1.5.
Oh my god.
Speaking of, and we should mention, the only extended cuts for Spider-Man we've
Shut
seen is
up.
2.1, not 3.1. It's a big issue with
Oh,
Chris. Don't
yeah,
bring it up.
Don't. You just brought it up.
I did.
Fucking,
For
I'm
the
just
sake.
very angry. I
Gross.
want to see what they did with it. I want to see what they cut out. I mean, you tell me, but I want to see it happen.
You want to see it in the moment. You want to live
Yes.
it with a live orchestra at the Hollywood Bowl,
Back to the Future.
preferably.
Wow,
uh,
that was great.
Did you ever see when they were releasing? I'm waving my finger right now, and Chris is mocking me. When they were releasing Age of Ultron, one of the fake post-credit scenes that leaked online was a shot of Avengers Tower.
Oh,
And
yeah.
did you see that?
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is just on the window. Maybe
It
there's
was real.
there's a guy cleaning the window, and Spider-Man just lands next to him, and it looked real.
It was real to me.
It looked, and I have the feeling it might have been real.
It should have been real.
Because there was always that talk of Sony and Marvel actually combining the Amazing franchise and the Marvel universe, which would have been dope.
I don't get why it took them so long.
Yeah, and I think Andrew Garfield would have been a great Spider-Man in the MCU. He would have worked, but
Just change your voice, please, for me. Not so high pitched.
yeah, just talk like a normal. Be British. Just
Boys in
don't.
blue.
It's so aggressive. It's so aggressively fake.
I just did your job for you.
Oh, but with Amazing Spider-Man 2, I mean, one, the real intro, not the prologue, but like when he's actually falling and swinging,
that's cool.
that's great. When he's doing the YouTube how to like magnetize.
That was
stuff.
unreal because the views and the subscriber count were off. That was wrong. I've seen videos on that.
This is not CinemaSins. We don't.
Oh, shut up. You
don't get
can't bring
this.
that up.
No.
No.
CinemaSins, they know.
We're gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get hurt.
I'm a big fan of the CinemaSins podcast, by the way. Don't listen to them. Listen to them after this.
Do they have a podcast?
They do. It's called the Sincast. It's
Oh.
pretty good. I would recommend if you want to hear people talk about movies who aren't us. Which, of course, if you're listening to this, mom and/or a close friend, you wouldn't.
You made a mistake.
You made a mistake. Anyway, I
That was by
guess
accident.
what does that make your number 4 then?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is your number 4. I agree.
There you go. And I think
I think at this point we agree going up, but I'll
Yeah.
still ask you first. So Spider-Man 3, I think we both agree it's a pretty good movie.
it's good. It's not. It's like so. It's fun.
It's fun. It's so hated
It's I don't
for
know
some
why.
reason. Oh well, I mean,
It's-
we know why, but at the
Why?
same time, it's good.
We
Like
liked
it's
it.
so much better than the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and
Mm.
I actually like Amazing Spider-Man too, and it's still like light years. I
What?
know, hot take. That-
Unpopular opinion.
Unpopular
Number
opinion.
2 from Ed.
Number 2. It's the same unpopular opinion twice.
Oh shit!
I
It's-
think.
I don't even remember.
But with
This is-
Spider-Man
it's
3,
late.
yes, Venom is shoehorned in there, but Sandman is a pretty compelling villain. I felt bad for him. I cared about him, and
Harry's pretty cool too.
and
That's what he
Harry,
wants.
yeah, like don't get me wrong, the snowboarder outfit doesn't, I don't jive with that.
I think it's funny that any chance Harry gets in a fight scene, they make him hit his head. Did you notice that?
No.
Like he hits his head like when he's chasing Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Then when Peter and Harry are fighting, he like throws him at the balcony thing. And then when he's fighting Venom, Venom throws him at a thing and he hits it again.
Oh my god.
He hits it like 3 times. Every fight he's in, he gets his head hit.
So Harry would have probably just died anyway, even if he didn't die in the fight.
I cleaned his wounds.
Cleaned his wounds, said
They
the
were-
butler. Apparently, the butler who was in like 3 seconds of Spider-Man 2. Come on.
Bernard.
Bernard. Also Bernard. Is there a worse name you could have come up with?
Just call
They were
yourself
like,
Bernard.
Alfred starts with an A. What's a B name? Barry? No. Let's go Bernard. Okay. I don't know what that was for. But with 3.1, what I'm excited about is that they just made, apparently, the pill easier to swallow. You know, they just rearranged some scenes. They didn't really cut a lot, but it was more they added some more stuff with Sandman, which is interesting because I don't think it needs more. I think we just need Venom. Chris
Sorry.
is either hungry or sick.
I'm like both. No.
Both at the same time.
I'm
It's a
sick 'cause I'm
compelling
hungry.
feeling. Yeah, I
No.
have some IVs.
I'm hungry for some more Spider-Man. I'm
hungry,
hungry for 3.1.
hungry for some 3.1 right now. I guess the thing with Harry Osborn, though, which I like a lot, is that they kind of make him. I do think they dropped the ball a little bit with him. His characters doesn't flow from 2 to 3 as well as I guess I hope.
If
Even
it-
though in the beginning it starts off promising. Like, that chase scene
Yeah.
is pretty dope.
I mean, the CGI is like, ooh, but it's
I
still
mean,
cool.
it's still pretty good for that time. Like,
Yeah.
when you see the ring falling and Peter's just
That
like,
was cool.
That's such a good... Oh, my God, it's so good. Yeah.
Like, I feel like everyone like kind of reverted. Like they didn't like what's it called? Like everyone seemed more mature at the end of 2, but like in the third one they all kind of like seemed like
Oh, yeah,
less
they took
mature.
2 steps back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
which is
step,
weird.
It's weird. Yeah, Peter's like clueless. Mary Jane's just whiny the whole time. Harry's just like Harry. He's doing his thing. He's like
Yeah,
Harry
he's
in
just angry without, like, conflict.
he just needs to listen. Honestly,
Yeah, I know, which is insane. And I guess that leads us to...
I can't give you my blood, Harry. Thanks for showing up to tell me that.
that's the worst part of Amazing
That's
Spider-Man 2.
stupid.
Yeah, so as...
You're a fraud.
If you don't know what we're talking about, that's completely fine.
So fucking stupid.
This should be this is actually a podcast for the fans, not the critics. So if you don't know what we're talking about, you're just not a fan, and you can't enjoy it.
Leave.
We didn't make a bad show. You have had a bad life. That's where we're going with this.
I want to say that if you have missed out on it, your life is probably a little bit better. You have
I hope I've given you something to think about.
you have 2 hours of your life saved. I put 10 plus hours into that movie. I've watched it multiple times.
It's so good.
No, it's not.
It is.
Keep it away from me. Bring me more 3.1.
More. You've had none 3.1, so
Bring
you
me
can't
more
ask
of it.
more. And that's actually... We should plug this now. We're going to watch Spider-Man 3.1 one day. And we're going to talk
My
about it
God.
immediately afterwards.
Sean, I'm gonna throw him out there. Sean is annoying me with this.
Sean is our friend.
He keeps
He
like
has 3.1.
he showed it off when he got it, and I asked him, "Can you like film the scenes for me?" And he said yes, and he never did, and we never watched the movie.
You know
Why
what?
would you say let's watch Spider-Man 2?
Because I thought the night was going to last longer, but then we got tired.
No.
It was an early night,
Ugh.
too. We wrapped up at, like, midnight.
Some nights people have bedtimes.
Some nights, not me. I never sleep unless I'm tired, which is always. Is
Sleep
that depression? I don't know.
Sleep is for weak.
For the week or for the anyway, I thought I was gonna make a joke and I just made a fool of myself.
Okay. Next,
Dead air.
what's your third?
What's
your
what's
third?
your third? I'm gonna ask.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Whoa, that's your third?
You don't agree with that one?
I would say.
Did you switch it around? Because I remember you saying it was different at one point.
Yeah, I probably switched around. I would say Spider-Man 1 is
I knew
probably
it.
my third.
And that's how it was at first. But
I flip flop though. It's like Ask Me Any Day of the Week, but today I'll say Spider-Man 1 is my third.
yeah, I just think it's like they focus too much on humor in Spider-Man: Homecoming for me. I mean, it's fun.
Okay, yeah.
But like, there's not enough like emotional tension. You know, it's just like something happens. Okay, that's like let's dwell on it for like a little bit, then let's switch to something funny. You know, like with the whole.
That's the Marvel thing.
I know,
They
but-
always do that. Yeah.
I know that's why I like the original Raimi trilogy better. But like the whole scene with like Toby, not Toby,
As if
Peter.
only.
I'm stuck in my head now. 3.1. But like the scene between like Tom's Peter and Tony, it's just like this is huge thing. It's like give me the suit, and then they do like this thing where like I don't have clothes. Okay, we'll fix it. Then it's a joke right after. Like the tension's kind of gone.
I agree, but that one isn't even the worst
Funny
one. It's
intention.
there are I can't think of any right now. But I remember always thinking, wow, humor is just really undermining every big moment we're having.
I still laugh though, like
know.
when like he goes to the party with the hat. That's
Yeah,
fun.
he's so nerdy. Ned.
Peter, the hat isn't working. Get back here. But yeah, yeah, they have to make sure like it's funny, like constantly instead of focusing like on drama. You know,
Which is, yeah, because Parker's drama is the best.
That's
like,
what-
it's what makes him the best, the most compelling superhero.
like in this
And-
movie, nothing really bad happens to him. Honestly,
I mean, besides the one thing they do really well is the scene where he has all the concrete slapped on him in the third act.
that's amazing.
It's pretty
That's so
humanizing.
good.
It's one of the best like Spider-Man scenes. It's up there.
It's not enough to get in my like top 2.
No, it ranks a solid 3 for you.
It's great imagery though. It's amazing.
It's pretty
Zack
great.
Snyder is jealous that he couldn't do something like that.
He didn't watch the movie because he heard about that and he was like, no,
I need to do something like that with Batman.
but more dark. I just want you to see Batman's eyes and the glint of his cowl.
And his shiny white teeth.
Yeah, no teeth.
No teeth.
Disagree.
No teeth. No teeth, Ben.
Ben,
Please.
buddy, no teeth. Okay, let's do a take with no teeth. So you just want me to look? Yes. Ben.
I want you to scowl the whole time.
But we won't see it. Your eyes will show us the scowl. With Spider-Man: Homecoming, also it's really long.
Yeah.
Like it's a solid half hour too long.
To be honest, though, I didn't like really like notice that. I tried to like not look at my phone for the first viewing of that, and like I didn't really like feel a reason to, since it was the first time I saw it. I was just like, I was enjoying myself the first time, but multiple times I've seen it like 4 times now.
Whoa, really?
I like it.
In theaters?
Yeah.
Where did you watch it?
First it was no, not 4 times, 3 times. First it was at the 4D theater, then it was at Regal, and then it was I want to say this theater.
The one within our little center.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I've only seen it twice, and the first time I saw it, I felt it was long, but it was the same thing. I didn't feel like out of it ever. And then the second time, I was probably at the party scene, and I was thinking, "Geez, we have a lot left to go."
God, Aunt May is so nice looking, but God, so long to go.
The Aunt May jokes were pretty funny too.
Yeah.
I liked when Tony was like, "Hey May, wearing something skimpy, I hope," and he's like, "No, we'll cut it.
That's inappropriate.
That's funny because that's how art works. We'll just cut it. If it's not funny, we'll cut it.
What's with the focus on the humor?
But I like the beginning of that movie's so good though.
Yeah,
you know, where like the whole Happy montage, where like Happy knocks on his door, Spider-Man bat flips,
Yeah, that was
and he's
cool.
like, "They have very thin walls here." It just cuts. It's so good.
It looks like, I don't know, that like backflip always like kind of like makes like, it looks weird to me. Like the way he lands, it just looks like
It looks so fluid and fake, but
Yeah.
it kind of works for me. It's just, it's a little,
it looks like to me it looks like the flip was fake and he just like jumped.
yeah.
That's how I feel.
I agree.
That's how I feel.
Those are some of Chris's thoughts.
Let me watch 3.1, please.
But yeah, I loved the.
You, like, scratch
I'm
your arm and,
scratching
like-
my arm and thinking, what is he doing to my microphone?
Okay, all right.
But the movie, it's good. It's really good. It's obviously it's in the better half of Spider-Man
It's in the
movies.
top
for me.
3.
But I think the reason I like,
That's the other half, yeah.
you know, the reason I think, oh well, we probably talk about the Vulture, one of the better Spider-Man villains, but at the same time,
That's cool.
doesn't top any villain besides Venom from the Raimi trilogy,
No one.
which is crazy, right?
Wait. You're saying he doesn't top Venom?
No, I'm saying he only tops Venom from the Spider-Man trilogy.
Oh,
Because I would say I still like Green Goblin more.
Mm.
You know, I still like Doc Ock more. I still like Sandman more, which is crazy because I thought Vulture was a pretty good villain.
I mean, he he beats Amazing's villains, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
for
cool.
sure.
Fuck you, Lizard. Fuck you, Electro. Develop more. Then come talk to me.
But he looks pretty. He looks blue.
He looks silly.
A little
Where'd he get
bit.
that outfit?
So, yeah, and he has like little lightning bolts engraved on him. It's
Don't
campy. It's silly. I love it.
Don't you know I'm Electro? Now I'm gonna.
And then the dubstep kicks in,
It's
and
my-
it's dope. Come on, just the dubstep. Thoughts on the
I thought
dubstep
it was-
in the Amazing Spider-Man?
I
2?
think it was okay. I don't know. I'm not really a big dubstep guy.
No,
you
me
know?
neither.
Yeah, but I just think I was kind of annoyed. I thought it was silly that it was like his thoughts turned into rap.
Mhm.
They hate on me. They shoot on me. What?
It was.
It doesn't.
It was emotional. It was a turning point for his character, Chris.
Jamie Foxx, I can't wait to see you and Annie. Oh wait. Oh.
Oh wait, turn, Baby Driver?
Oh.
Question mark?
Yeah, he was in that. Oh,
He's
dude.
so good at Baby Driver.
Baby Driver is my second favorite Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, Ansel Elgort is. He could be a Peter Parker.
Ansel.
Isn't that his name?
Ansel. Oh, I didn't hear
Elgort?
what you said. Something like that. Yeah.
The actor's name.
Yeah.
The guy from Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah,
Could be
him.
a pretty good Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like him. He's good.
Yeah. But will he be better than Tom Holland?
No.
No.
Just kidding. Depends.
How
on the
wait? How would you
direction.
rank the Spidey actors?
Toby, because nostalgia, you know, and like he did have like quips at
Yeah.
times. He doesn't need to be funny all the time, you know.
He was. I think he's the most kind of
Consistent.
consistent, focused, singular. He's a complex character. He's layered. He has responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah.
But again, with Tom Holland, I think I agree with you. The humor just it sort of becomes such a forefront and necessity for the Marvel movies. It gets a little old a little quickly, and I would say Andrew Garfield's probably he's good. I like his performance.
Spider-Man's good.
Yeah,
His
I feel like
voice,
Spider-Man's a role that if you mess up, like
you will be remembered for being the
yeah, because I feel like it's a hard role to mess up. It's just be likable.
yeah.
You know, like, and as long as you trust people, you
bubbly.
can do it. So you have to be like a really unlikable dude to
Yeah.
just like Vincent D'Onofrio as Spider-Man. I'm talking.
No, stop.
You'd love it. You'd watch it.
Is that the 70s? Who's that?
No.
Am I being dumb right now?
Vincent D'Onofrio is the guy he's Kingpin from Daredevil.
Oh god, I need to watch. I need to catch up.
Anyway,
Hey, what are you talking about?
He's the guy from Dirty.
I know,
the
but
joke. Like he's on like.
Oh my god.
Let me explain the joke right now.
Okay, go ahead because I'm like it is midnight. I think.
Is it midnight? It's 12:27, Chris.
I
Get
don't
some
know.
facts in your pocket, and why don't you disperse them out to our listening public?
Here, hold that your. Oh, what? This is where the 10 went.
Wait, news, crazy news front. Chris just found $10 in his pocket,
This is my brother's. I was supposed to buy milk with it and I lost it.
and
If Spider-Man had the 10 and Amazing Spider-Man 1, if he had more money, Uncle Ben would have been alive.
that's true.
You've got to be fucking joking.
He just needed 1 penny though, which is a little.
So stupid.
It's a little.
Did he really need just one more penny?
Yeah, it was the give a penny, take a penny bit.
That's
Remember?
So stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's just a penny, you know?
See that? It's dumb.
Well, Dad
Also-
didn't give you any more milk money? Fuck you.
That's aggressive.
That's like...
Not the movie You right now. It's
No.
aggressive, Chris.
I'm angry. I found $10. I can give it back to my brother.
Or
Thank you.
the
No, he keeps bothering me
secret
about it.
lives and dies with me, you, and the 4 people listening to this podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, I guess that leaves us to our talk on Spider-Man 1. Well, not leaves us. We're not done. We still got to talk about the granddaddy of them all.
It's your number 3.
My number... I told you
Spider-Man
it's...
1.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1. So that makes
Man,
my
we just
2.
talked about Spider-Man Homecoming. You agreed with every point I had.
I did, and Spider-Man 1 is still better. And I think that there's 2 factors here. I don't know if it's... Well... Spider-Man 1's not better.
Whoa.
I just realized that's a mistake.
I think
See,
it's...
that's the thing. I flip-flop. Because okay. Here's the thing. I'd probably rather watch Amazing Spider-Man 1. I initially...
Over
yeah,
what? Over Spider-Man
Over
1?
Homecoming.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'd rather watch Spider-Man 1 over Homecoming. And I know when, right, like literally 10 minutes ago, I said Spider-Man 1's my 3.
Are you flip-flopping right now?
I think I'm flip-flopping right now.
Oh my god.
In the moment. Because they're just, I don't know. You know, they're different films. They just are. They have a different visual aesthetic. But the thing is, like, what isn't perfect about Spider-Man 1 in a weird way? Like, it's campy.
It's how it's
sure.
supposed to be.
Like, it's campy, sure, but the emotional stuff hits. Like, I think my favorite scene is when Green Goblin attacks Aunt May's hospital bed. Like, as she's doing the Our Father, and he's just like, finish it. And then she's like,
It's
no.
fun. That would happen in the comic.
It's so good, because it's so, like, awful.
It's like, what do people want from, like, those movies? Like, why do you want them to be realistic?
I don't know. I don't want it to be realistic, but it was great. I loved that.
I actually, like, cried the first time I saw when Uncle Ben died. Because his face wasn't funny to me, honestly. I could see why he would cry like that.
Yeah, I only laugh. I feel kind of bad because I don't think the Tobey Maguire face is particularly funny as far as crying faces goes, but I've just seen it memed so much. I can't not meme it out of my mind.
I mean, like, while you're watching it in movie, it's good.
Yeah, in the moment, unless somebody points it out or takes you out of it. But, you know, at this point, I might take you out of it. But, so the thing is, they get the humor so right in Spider-Man Homecoming, and I guess sometimes, like, I'd say in Amazing Spider-Man 2, the humor works, but whatever.
Okay, move on.
Move on. That's
Number 6.
That's way down. That's 5. 4, 3, 2.
You're backtracking.
1. I am.
But
It's
number
late.
1?
Number 1. Number 1.
It's 2.1.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.1. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wait, well, going about more about Spider-Man 1.
With Spider-Man 1, you know, it's just...
I like Spider-Man 1.
Willem Dafoe's the Green Goblin is
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh, I thought you said Willem Dafoe is Green Goblin. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
agree.
is.
He is.
News, big
Correct.
news. He's fantastic, and I don't think he's menacing, but he's also a lot of fun, and you do get the sense that there is that sort of a relationship between Norman Osborn, Harry Osborn, and Peter. There's a little mini family dynamic there.
Family triangle. Love triangle.
Yeah, and he's not. You never get the feeling that Norman is Peter's dad, which I like because that wouldn't ever work ever. But you get the feeling that Peter respects Norman Osborn, and that makes it all the more complicated when he's in this situation because now he's going to hurt someone he loves, which isn't Norman Osborn. It's Harry, and that's all so perfect. Like that image of Peter with his broken down suit putting down his Norman Osborn's dead body down there, and Harry just seeing him is insane. It's so good.
It's such a good shot.
Yeah,
everything about it is good.
Yeah, Harry's got his turtleneck,
isn't it?
His James Dean hair. It's perfect.
Like, you're done. They pull out how convenient that one gun.
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
just a gun in a cupboard. Just a gun in every cupboard, just to be safe, in case Spidey shows up right now.
Dropping my dead father's body off. Any
Just in
dead
case.
family member.
Yeah, it won't be loaded, but the gun will be there. just just for visual's sake. Yeah, but oh man, it's so good. And even like when he's fighting Flash Thompson and it's going slow motion, it's still good.
Everything about it's great. Like it's such like you don't even like know Flash that like long, but like it's still like satisfying to see him like beat up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the worst. And then the Bruce Campbell cameo as the guy who gives Spider-Man his name. Okay, I would say the only point where it gets a little too cheesy is the wrestling match with what's the guy's name? Bone Crusher?
Bonesaw McGraw.
Bonesaw?
Yeah, Bonesaw McGraw.
It's so stupid. Like
It's
that's
fun,
a little.
it's great.
That's the point where I'm a little. I can pee now. Like that's fine.
Okay, I get
But
it.
I like that he spray paints his suit.
I mean, it still
you
feels
know.
good to see him win. Like, it feels good
Yeah.
when Peter wins, even if it's short. Like,
Because that's the only time he'll win. Oh, but man, when the actual death of Uncle Ben and the ensuing aftermath, where Peter, does Peter push him off the ledge?
no, he just like kind of like moves forward and he just like backs up because he gets scared.
Because he does fall though, right?
Yeah,
Like that works
he trips.
so well, and it's like I remember when you're watching that as a little kid, it's kind of scary,
Yeah.
because it's a really dark setting, and you just see Peter just beating this guy up,
Yeah, it's awesome,
and
dude.
it's
I saw like
great.
on the TV version on like Cartoon Network for kids. Like, what's it called? You know how he slams his face into like the windows?
Yeah.
They cut one of those out for some reason. I guess it's too violent. It's
that
like,
one.
Yeah,
was
just
too
one.
much.
Because, like, it sounds like he's in, like, actual pain, I guess. Like, early 2000s pain. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe it was too much,
It's funny how we just came just earlier tonight. We watched It, which is the Stephen King adaptation. I'm thinking of all the things that happened to those kids.
How are they going to show that
feel
on
like
TV?
I was gonna say that's all gonna be on TV. I bet, like because there were no boobs, and that's
Yeah.
the only reason
Yeah.
it's gonna be on TV.
Dude, like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say this. Can't I say it? Whatever.
There you
How,
go.
how he lost his arm. I still can't. I don't know how they're going to show that.
Oh, that's a
honestly.
spoiler.
Is it? That's the beginning of the movie.
Okay. Well, light spoilers.
Lights. I mean,
We should have
you can
spoiler
look at. You
alerted.
can find it on the internet by now.
Yeah. But yeah, there's the scene. Spoiler alert for It. But the scene begins with a little Georgia getting his arm.
That's
enough.
crazy. It's so weird to see like a kid like writhing in pain, crawling away with his arm gone. Like when you think about it,
It's pretty
it's
terrifying.
gnarly.
Yeah, and there's a lot of blood. Like
Yeah, like
it was upsetting.
it's weird to see kids die. Like I feel like that's that's like taboo for a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of tangent. Anyway,
Anyways.
back to Spider-Man 1. Like this one. Can we talk about the score?
I want to talk about it.
I
I'm just
want to watch it again.
Danny Elfman.
Let's just plug it. It is a great movie. But Danny Elfman doing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man first two.
It's one
The
of the most-
score, it's great.
It's so iconic.
That theme, it's like that weird like, and then just like
Just
escalates.
the build up. Oh
It's
god.
the urban city, guys. New York.
New York, concrete jungle
It's-
legends. I don't
just-
think you could hear that. That's good.
It's okay.
Okay, good.
They heard everything.
No, look at that. See how small my voice is right there? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, he said, pointing at the I don't know, recording of our recording. Anyway,
Am I not okay to break the wall like that?
no, there's no,
Is that not okay?
because we're not in a wall, we're in a bubble
What the fuck?
in our ears.
Can't pop the bubble.
No, if you know what I mean.
Don't rock the boat.
Wink.
What are you talking about?
I guess, with that Spider-Man theme, it's just so good, and it's a shame that they didn't bring him back for the third one. That Danny Elfman was like, nah.
Yeah, I mean
They used the theme,
Yeah,
which
I like
is
the
not
take on it.
important. But no, it's still a good score, because I mean the dark suit theme is really cool. But that's all I can remember. Like
Every soundtrack is good.
Like,
Like-
yeah, it's great.
How would I guess you'd rank the second movie, then the first movie, then the third movie with soundtrack wise? I think that's how you do it.
Me?
Yeah,
Like I personally would probably.
because you like the opening of the. Not that I would know, but you like the second opening more than the first one.
For the credits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize they were that different, but they are. Right?
Yeah.
The overture is a little more
Isn't the first
grandiose, isn't it?
Is the first version the longer? Because I feel like they do the Uncle Ben one, like the Uncle Ben like theme. Boom, boom, boom.
No, I think I'm pretty sure the second one's longer still.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess that leads us to both of our number ones, which is of course Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
2.1. Oh,
2.1.
3.1.
Whoa, would you? Well, okay, that's
No,
good
just
to
kidding,
start.
no.
Do you prefer 2.1,
I like the train fight in 2.1.
which is pretty impressive?
I like the fight scenes in 2.1.
Yeah,
I like
because
to see more.
I think I like that. That's what they decided to expand on, because the movie's long. It is like pushing 2:15 probably.
Yeah, which I'm okay with, honestly.
No, yeah, it
never
works
feels
so well.
long.
But I feel like if we don't need more, and if we did need more, action is where to put it, instead of like another scene where Peter's getting like dumped on or something. Because that movie is
That's
all
what you need. That's
God,
what
that
he
movie's
needs.
and that movie's funny too. Like I love when he's being the photographer for that event, and the guy just passes him for drinks, and he like keeps missing them.
Dude, I love how he gets slapped by Harry and then he has to take the photo.
Oh my god, that's so good. And speaking of,
It's real.
Harry Osborn is perfect in that movie,
Everyone's perfect.
except
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Okay.
And even she's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, like
she's better than like Kirsten Dunst.
she's she's like you with your movies. She flip flops.
She does some flip flopping, but on Spider-Man 2, luckily she flopped in the right place.
Hey, but the most important thing you just said is she flopped.
She flopped. She flooped.
Flooped.
She flooped the cooped.
No.
There's always the question: who's Spider-Man's arch nemesis? Is it Doc Ock or Green Goblin
Or Venom.
Or,
I mean, are we going off villain or
Yeah,
like
I would
movie?
say- I'm just saying general villains.
We're going off villains here.
Yeah, because
We're going off
yeah,
movies.
people do say Venom, but I'm like, if you say Venom, I don't trust you.
That was a fan creation.
Yeah,
It's not canon.
it's not canon.
Did you hear about Venomverse?
Yeah,
That-
I would read that.
It sounds a
I
little.
like Venom, but I
feel
I
like-
don't love him.
I feel like they're just trying to bank on Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
Just like, come on.
but they did a good job with some of those Carnage comics. Like Carnage USA is pretty good.
I haven't really.
Yeah, Carnage. I don't like Carnage that
I need to
much
catch
personally.
up, dude. Like,
Yeah, the whole
Money.
symbiotes are weird because it's just like, hey, this is Spider-Man, but not as much a good
it's
guy.
Extreme Spider-Man. He kills people.
It's extreme with a capital X.
Yeah.
Like that's Venom for me. and then I don't know, like Carnage is that in like super bold thunder font.
Are you trying to tell me Spider-Man 3 is your number one now?
I think I'm trying to tell you Spider-Man 3 is the best movie of all time.
Dude,
But-
imagine 3.1.
With Imagine 3.1.
I think that ruins it.
Yeah, just there's not enough Venom in 3.1 still. Just give him more, but no more character stuff, just shots of Venom walking.
Don't even tell us how he got the suit.
No,
Just
we
like-
don't. No, just Venom Venoff. Venom
And
Venom Venoff. Venom. We're sober. We're just tired.
Make sure like the mask is pulled back. Too,
Yeah.
The whole time.
But it's like it's alien to back.
Wouldn't it be cool if he had like his 90s cartoon voice? Like it's like both like two voices at once instead of just one. I mean, it would be hard to
Yeah.
understand, but it would be cool.
It'd be like Bane, but more cohesive, because anything can be more cohesive than Bane. Bane. I see you wear a mask of villain too.
You look like Spider-Man, but stupider.
No, that's not Big Bane's voice.
Nobody cared.
But with Spider-Man 2, who would you say is Spider-Man's, like, if... Because, Batman has his Joker, Superman has Lex Luthor, who's Spider-Man's, ride or die?
We've talked about this, Ed.
But they haven't heard us talk about
Well,
it.
then let's not talk. Okay. It's Dr. Octopus.
It is Dr. Octopus, I agree.
Because he's the only one that's actually beaten Spider-Man.
Yeah, which that should be said. Chris and I are both huge fans of Dan Slott's 2014 series, the Superior Spider-Man, which lasted, I think, he did both. He's still doing both, which is insane. But which lasted like 35 issues.
Yeah,
It lasted a
around
while,
there.
like
Yeah.
2.5 years, and
Good.
and every issue was good.
It was.
God, that's probably I think that's the only like run of comic books that I probably I read
consistent
regularly,
with.
and I'm only because it's the only one that ended another definite run.
Yeah, I've also read somewhere too that like if Peter didn't get that whole with great power comes great responsibility speech, he would have just like ended up like a
Doc Ock. That was a whole issue. I remember.
Really? It was?
Wasn't it? Where it was like, I forgot, but I remember there's the flashback issue where you see Otto as a kid, and he's basically like excelling, but he's getting his ass handed to him, and he has no
Yeah.
like.
Wasn't
You
that
know.
like in 698 or something like that?
Maybe.
Yeah, when he's going through his memories.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Peter goes through.
Yeah, it's so good though. Like it's just seeing
sad.
because they're the same person, really, which is great because on the surface level they're completely different, but at the same time they're both geniuses brought up in like underappreciated worlds, and to the point where the only difference is that guiding moral force.
Yeah.
Which Peter becomes for Doc Ock in that series, which is fantastic. Even though Doc Ock is still like, I'm going to kill you.
I'm
But
gonna
I
kill
like the way you
everybody,
think.
and I'm going to have sex with Mary Jane.
Yeah, that whole
weird.
That caused
Do
controversy.
you think he's still attracted to Aunt May, even though he's in a younger body? Because remember they were supposed to get married.
Well, is it Marissa Tomei Aunt May? Sally Fields?
We're talking about comics here.
Okay, so it's
Oh, I would feel so bad if that happened to Toby Spider-Man.
It would be rough.
Also Tom's. Andrew, whatever.
Andrew, yeah.
Andrew,
Maybe that would
he'll
save
fix it. He'll fix
But,
it. Maybe that'll save it.
With Spider-Man 2, they totally personified who Doc Ock was, because with Spider-Man 2, when movies do, I hit the table again. When movies do the theme of love, it rarely works. But in Spider-Man 2, it totally works, because you believe Doc Ock loves his wife, and you believe Peter. For some, you don't necessarily know why, but you believe he loves Mary Jane. Like, that comes across. So, seeing, both of them sort of come together through, like, love for someone who's dumber than them. I mean, that really binds them. But I love the poetry stuff. Like, you win a girl's heart through poetry, and it's true.
Punch me, I bleed.
I love how Peter says stuff like that, and it's like, wrong moment, Peter. There's so many right moments, and this is the wrong one.
I thought that was the door.
That was.
That was weird.
My front door just blinked at us.
You're talking to Ed again? What?
I'm Pennywise, the dancing clown.
I don't want to go home.
Send me.
I'm gonna get hurt.
Probably. It's scary at night.
Correct.
Can confirm.
I still think it's a little unbelievable. Not unbelievable, but I can't even get the word, but I just think it's weird how Fast Doc Ock will go from being the scientist who wants to better the world to dropping Aunt May, basically killing her.
Yeah,
but I feel he trusted Spider-Man to catch her too.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that is a little
to kill people.
It's like the Vulture with in Spider-Man: Homecoming
when
he kills the guy using the he thinks it's the anti-gravity gun, but it's really just a super laser gun, and he just brushes it off.
I wanted to bring that up in It at one point, when they grab something and they hit
Spoilers.
somebody. Oh. Well, not really. When they grab something, they hit somebody. I wanted to whisper, I thought this was the anti-gravity gun.
Laughing at a joke. But I agree with that. But there's always that weird tonal inconsistency for the sake of the scene, not even the whole movie. But Doc Ock, you say what you will about the Raimi villains dying, but I really love that Doc Ock actually sacrificed himself and redeemed himself through that.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea for them to live in that universe.
No, it's not necessary.
It's cheesy, but it's grounded in reality.
Because what more could you say with Doc Ock? In that story, it was perfect. It was wrapped up in a singular way.
Why would he come back as a villain anyways?
Yeah. Which is what makes Harry the perfect overarching sort of antagonist, because you can build that relationship. And even though they do sort of drop the ball at the end, the payoff is still not from Spider-Man 3, it's from 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, like I say, Spider-Man 3 should have been split into 2 parts. I always say it. I feel I'm starting to think about it though. Should it have focused on Harry in part 1 or Sandman in part 1? I feel Harry...
I would have said Sandman. Oh, okay.
Oh no, okay, you go.
I would have said Sandman part 1 and then Harry part 2.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been good just to get the Harry stuff out of the way.
That's true. Then you're pushing it off another movie.
Yeah. And then I feel at the end, the alien symbiote should just came and it teases that he'll be Black Suit, or he get the Black Suit at the beginning of the third one, and then at the end of part 1 he gets rid of it, and then it teases Venom, and in the second one Venom's a villain. The way he has his own movie.
I feel Spider-Man 3 would have worked so well if Venom was not in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Because I feel the ratio works for how much Harry's in the movie and how much Spider-Man's in the movie.
I mean,
then Sandman, I should say. That works because Harry's the more important character, but Sandman takes up more screen time, but it works fine.
Yeah, maybe just keep it 1 villain per movie, right? Godzilla, 2, whatever. Hey, what's up? 4?
Yeah,
what, 4?
4. I don't know who Godzilla's fighting.
I think it's Mothra. One of them is
Mothra.
Mothra.
King, I think it's Ghidorah, the dragon.
Yeah, Ghidorah or whatever.
Yeah, and some other. I don't know. Those are the only 2 I know, frankly. But
Godzilla fights himself.
I don't know.
He gets a black suit.
With 1 villain, it works because it gives you the opportunity to do. You can tell the 2 stories. You can tell Norman Osborn's side, and you can tell Peter's side, and it works wonderfully.
Yeah, an equal amount. It's just not someone gets 25%, then one person gets 10%.
Which was nice about Vulture, because you got a fair amount of him, even though obviously Marvel has a concern over the heroes more, which is why their villains usually suck. And Vulture wasn't perfect, but he was good.
He was one of the more memorable ones.
Yeah, if only because of that twist.
Is it weird to say Dormammu was memorable? To be honest, for me.
Oh, so Dormammu, the villain from Doctor Strange.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just
he's a weird third act force. I don't know. I don't like Doctor Strange. The more I think about it, personally, the more I think about it, the more I'm wow, that movie just does not.
I mean, visually, it's amazing.
Visually, it's fun.
Ouch! It hit my wrist.
Chris Chris, just for you who can't view us, Chris hit his wrist.
I broke my wrist a few years ago, and I just hit it on the chair, and now it's like hurting. They said it healed. Like, look at me.
Hey, I'm shaking.
Listen to me. Listen to me, doctors. I paid money for this.
Doctor. Danger, danger.
Dr. Octavius.
High volt. So I think, with Spider-Man 2, it's just a fantastic film. Is there anything else left to say on Spider-Man 2, though?
The train fight in 2.1. I just love seeing
good.
him like get hit over and over, but still coming back from it. It's fun.
Oh my God. Speaking of, I think the only scene, again, it's just like they've done everything in Spider-Man 2 before, but they perfect it in Spider-Man 2. Like the scene where they actually pick him up and they lie him on the ground and they're like, "This is just a kid," and everyone says we won't tell. I kind of believe they won't tell. You know,
They
what I
didn't
mean?
have any like phones that could take pictures back then. That's why.
That's true.
That's why it's believable.
That's true. But like, yeah, maybe that is why, because that original trilogy takes place like in no time, sort of. It takes place in modern day, but also they don't have cell phones, really.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, that's a little. What is that? The first Spider-Man? Yeah, where they're like.
You're about to
they're
say
always-
amazing because it sounds like it'd be from Amazing.
Because it's that bad.
Yeah, but it's like cheesy fun. Actually, it's
Yeah.
not even bad. It's just like cheesy.
I think that's worse than the cranes in Amazing Spider-Man.
Fuck that stupid shit.
Everyone hates the cranes. I don't.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The logic is that why are there so many cranes in perfect order? But
Like that Spider-Man's really done nothing for that city so far.
that's true. He hasn't earned it.
I mean, he's like saved a few people off a bridge. That's it.
But yeah, but nobody's bought him a churro. So what's the point?
I mean, like Spider-Man saved like hundreds of people during like that Macy's Day Parade thing, and then
Which is a great scene.
and then he saved that the baby from the burning building, and he saved J. Jonah Jameson. People saw that. I mean, there's a reason for him to connect more with like the people there, and not just some fucking crane people. He helped one crane person.
He helped his kid out of the car. I remember when he put his mask on and called him Spider-Man.
Wow, great! Wow, Andrew, you just gave away your secret identity.
Can you agree with me then that Amazing Spider-Man is the worst
They're
Spider-Man?
they're equally terrible.
Nah, that's not true.
It is.
And the reason? His suit's better in the second one.
This,
That should be enough of a driving force.
It's a nice costume to buy on Halloween. That's
It's a nice
it.
costume to see Andrew's beautifully sculpted Greek body in. Sigh.
He's not Greek. He is
No, he's
British.
not.
Actually, I don't even know.
He's British.
Huh?
He's
Is
Greek.
this Kingsman?
Kingsman.
That looks
Oh,
fun.
looks
That
so
looks- that
good.
looks like so much
Kingsman 2
fun.
looks fantastic.
Oh,
I would watch. Oh boy.
what a mess.
Everyone likes me today, said as the paper stuck to my arm. I feel like we've wound down on the conversation. So before we cap off today, why don't we just just to recap from 6 to 1, what was your list?
Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
and then 3.1 is 0.
3.1.
I haven't seen it.
It's the 0 issue. You don't have to read it, but it's there for your enjoyment. And my list is, of course, Amazing Spider-Man
Boo.
at 6. 5 was Amazing Spider-Man 2. 4 was Spider-Man 3. 3 was
my God, here we go, dude.
Spider-Man Homecoming. 2 was Spider-Man 1.
That's right.
And the top dog daddy of them all was Spider-Man 2.
You mean X-Men 2?
It was, X-Men 2. Of course, the best X-Men movie. It's not the best X-Men movie.
I can agree.
Because
But
none of the
that's-
X-Men movies are particularly great.
Logan's
Logan's
fantastic.
good, but it's not an
Fantastic.
X-Men movie. Literally. Spoilers!
Oh.
They're all dead.
Where's Magneto?
Where's Magneto? I know. He
He went back to like.
He went back to Metal
He
World.
went back to the woods.
He went back to Into the Woods. So that's how we're going to cap off our inaugural episode of Mistakes Were Made. Thank you so much for listening. And please come listen to us again next week. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. Chris, anything you want to plug before we go?
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.